Showtime.
Dynamite Download.
Welcome to Dynamite Download, your source for positive coverage of all elite wrestling.
This is what pro wrestling's supposed to feel like.
Oh, you guys, positive energy.
I think that created a little moment in itself.
You're saying I have a better record than Kenny Omega and Samoa Joe, and now I'm going to have to wrestle them.
I've never seen someone able to break down like wrestling like he does.
No Mariah May, shit, boom.
My real story does connect with a lot of people.
Well, that you need to be careful in the locker room.
I definitely think that women's wrestling has been elevated.
And with the loss of Brody, I feel like we were kind of a little bit directionless.
I was like deep diving into like cults.
Raw horse.
Raw horse?
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I had to smack him around a few times to fully gain his respect.
You said that in front of the voice of a generation?
It was Frank match.
Awesome.
This podcast is quite frankly the drizzling shit, if I'm being quite honest.
They spread positivity about AEW.
Welcome to Dynamite Download.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Dynamite Download proudly presents episode 192 with your host, Mind Runner and SPD. We are.
And if you ain't down with that, oh, go ahead. If you ain't down with that, I got 2 words for you. Dynamite Download.
There we go. What is up? Happy Thursday. Back in the saddle. I know I missed last week's episode, but we had the draft. So once again, thanks, Brent, for filling in for SPD on my travel day. But we are cooking. TK is cooking. AEW is cooking. 4 hours of TV back-to-back weeks. 2.5 hours coming up down in Arena, Mexico. Got a little surprise for next week to be on brand with that. So stay tuned for the next week's episode on that. But and a lot going on. 30 days away from All In. I literally just seconds ago purchased our AEW karaoke tickets right there. We got them right there. AEW karaoke tickets for that Thursday night after Collision. And we are week 1 done for our draft season 6. So stand by for our updated standings.
Here we go.
It's all right. It's all right. I had to mute it for...
I just realized too, if we're gonna do the Bring the Boom, I gotta add Ranger Man, Aaron. I gotta add some new people to the Bring the Boom. So we'll have to get those.
I thought we had retired that for last season.
Oh, we did. Let's retire that. We're kind of that's so season 5.
That is so season 5.
Yeah,
you're right, Brian. AEW was on fire last night, and who else was on fire? Court's team. I mean, wow, coming out with a bang. 3 points to kick off season 6. 3 points for newcomer Ranger Man for season 6 as well. So they're fighting it out at the top right now. But wow, 4+ hours of TV, a lot going on last night. And I was happy to squeak out 2 points there, kind of last minute unannounced. You know, my guy Osprey went to a draw to kick things off, my number 1 overall pick. But whew, what a night. That's 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 points were up for grabs just in one night.
Unbelievable. And there was more too, because there were some NAs. There were there were some people, there were a couple, I think there was at least one person that was not got a point that wasn't a part of a member. I think it was Masca Dorado, whatever, but incredible. I mean, I would say the last half hour was starting to get real sleepy that last half hour. But again, the beauty of digital media is, you could always watch it the next day. Whatever you miss, go to sleep, come back, watch it the next day. But I don't want them to go to even 3 hours. Do not do a Raw, but I think an occasional 4-hour show like this is fine. Back to back is kind of tough, but like I said, it was one of those things where I think they pissed Tony off. They were bitching about the AEW pay-per-views being too long, and Tony's like, "Oh, really? All right, psychos, we're gonna back-to-back 4-hour Dynamites. How you like me now?" And like this was this was such a great night. Every match was at least a 4-star match. I don't think there was a bad match at all. And I personally felt like the match of the night was a match that was the standby match that wasn't even supposed to exist. Which
that's kind of a little look into the future of my top performer of the night. But to talk about timing, I think 4 hours is too long. And, I didn't end up watching the full show live just because the things are going on and it was getting late and I wanted to give my full attention. And I do feel like you could sense a little maybe show fatigue, just a little bit, but that's okay. And, once the NBA and NHL finals are over, I think we'll have that back to our normal time. I would rather have a 4-hour live show than a 2-hour live show and a 2-hour show that's going to air TBD. After the end of this game, like at 11:35 p.m. randomly on a Saturday night. So I prefer the 4-hour block versus that. And I think that's kind of what they're doing to protect themselves because there is a game on Saturday. There's an NHL game on Saturday, and I don't care about NBA at all, so it doesn't matter to me. But I like that concept, and I'm curious at how we're going to feel next week with a 2.5-hour block that they've pre-announced for that. So they did the 4-hour shows and even did 4-hour overruns. And then next week's going to be 2.5-hour block. But 3 hours max. I like the two 2-hour tight shows. That's a perfect sweet spot. I know as a booker, as fans, as that you want to see more and more wrestling and all that, but I feel like that's plenty for me right now.
Yeah. And 2.5 hours is going to seem like nothing compared to these last 2 4-hour shows. We're going to be like, oh, it's over already. What the hell? But yeah, it was. I mean, if you're going to do a 4-hour show and you're doing it obviously in defense of the protecting collision, if you will, this is the way to do it. I've heard a lot of there's a lot of talk and rumors and pearl clutching with the potential Warner split. And people, and of course you got the naysayer, the chicken littles out there saying, "Oh, this could mean the end of AEW." No, once again, you got to remember when AEW was created, they were hoping on a good night that they would clear about 500K viewers. Like, you got to understand, they're not in competition with WWE. AEW. If AEW is pulled from the show, what are they going to put? Young Sheldon? No, they're going to reruns of The Accountant. No, that's they. As long as they're doing that, AEW is still one of their flagship shows on TBS and TNT. Ain't going anywhere. In fact, if anything, if AEW's in the pilot seat with that whole deal. So.
Especially with sports ending, especially with NBA and NHL, it's starting to end for the summer. Like you're going to kick off, like this is a great thing, calling it summer blockbuster because you're leaning into that. Like I know people are on vacation and things like that, but you got to like programming. People are still looking for programming in the summer, and I think they're doing such a good job with the build up with the Fighter Fest and Summer Blockbuster, then the Grand Slam, and then that's just stepping stones. Black Adam.
By the way,
stepping
Steven,
stones
too soon.
All in.
Too soon, Steven. Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah.
But
so having it live for 4 hours does protect it, and I think it was a smart move by TK, especially leading into such a pivotal month for AEW. 1 month from now, we will be down in Texas. Less than 1 month, we'll be down there, but 1 month is the show from today. But looking at this card from the left, from top to bottom, a marquee thing.
This ain't even the whole card. Yeah,
I know, you're right. And I loved what wasn't, in addition to this, I loved what wasn't advertised. To kick things off, like I was shocked that we got Ospreay versus Swerve to kick off the show in a good way. And I mean, you don't want to peak too soon, but the way this started, and I like the concept of AEW does such a good job of booking the first match, essentially saying like, here it is. Do your best, and we'll work around your the rest of you. And so I thought this would have gone even longer, but they kept playing into the time limit shenanigans, which worked. But overall, man, both these guys could have been my top performer of the night. And it just, I can't wait to experience this once again, where the crowd is quadruple the size, where you can just get deafening chants at home. Because I love being at home and hearing the crowd saying AEW, or holy shit, and chanting this. And this is such a unique story that played out in the match, post-match, post beatdown, backstage. I'm really curious in what this could lead to moving forward, which we'll talk about afterwards. But match first, man. How did this deliver for you? First,
fantastic.
The match.
And just to your point about the arenas and whatnot, I like right now that they're temporarily kind of going more smaller arenas for a while, because it is more intimate. But yeah, when we get back to those huge arenas and everybody's just, this is awesome. That stuff, I can't wait to. And we're gonna, and to go from some of these smaller arenas to All In a stadium,
right?
It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be such an awesome. It's gonna feel like WrestleMania. It's going to feel like WrestleMania, and it's going to be so, and we already know there's going to be some WrestleMania worthy matches at All In. And where you hinted, you actually sent me this text last night. I have it in the rotation. You pulled the picture, but I think this match and the aftermath is setting up another All In match that we're going to talk about. But first of all, the match itself. These two guys, they're in my top three. They fight for my favorite wrestler all the time. It's
100%.
They bounce back and forth like they can put each of them. They can put on a banger with anybody, but when it's the two of them having these literally a dance partner like they have in each other, and which is ironic because that classic, one of their first matches, they did the Bruno Mars dance off, which was fantastic. But yeah, this is iron sharpening iron. This is like the movable object versus the immovable object, or they just were back and forth. I love the storytelling. I love because it fits in with the story going on with the two of them in Hangar, but also how they were using other people's moves. Like Swerve did a dead eye. I thought that was tremendous. I thought they were so, like, they took everything that they in their wheelhouse and went to 11 with it. There were so many great moments. Like just this right here. This reminded me of Danielson and Omega. Remember when Danielson and Omega, they just soaked it in for just a moment. Like, here it is. Look at them staring at each other. That was fantastic. And there was hidden blades off the apron. Swerve was acting like a nut flying through the air. Will was, this was everything. And like, this is what if you look at the bottom picture, this is what I say about the two of these guys. It's not just the moves that they do, the in-ring storytelling and the in-ring psychology, because look at the facial expression on Swerve, and you can see, and Will's reaction to it too. And Will does the same thing. The ability to emote and react to your opponent in these matches, it sells so tremendously. And look at the pain and Swerve. Look at the contrast, the pain and Swerve he's getting hit with the hidden blade. Fantastic. And my only gripe, and this is Mind Render's nitpick of the night, which I preface, this is not it's not like I'm not bitching or anything. It's a nitpick because it means 99% of this was awesome. I have just one complaint, and it's actually, if you're going to have a time limit draw, I wish that the announcers and even and Justin Roberts or whoever, they need to start telling everybody the time on all matches that go almost to 20 minutes. Like because what happened when they first mentioned the time, I'm like, oh, it's going to go to a time limit draw, because that's right. Why would they bring it up? They need to start bringing that up on matches that will have a finish, so that we're not like maybe it's going to be a time limit draw or not. And I do like that. I do like kind of the little hidden not Easter egg, but little story that Swerve was so obsessed with beating Ospreay, he wasn't even aware of the time. He just was so focused that he didn't even think about, oh, I got to get him in and pin. He wanted to hurt him. He wanted to do the move. So, at Steven said it. I mean, to sum it up in 2 words, great match, tremendous. Chef's kiss. It was exactly what we thought it would be.
Yeah, and I agree that they've done that in the past where it's been the 5 minutes remaining, 1 minute remaining, just Robert gets on the PA, and then as soon as they start saying that, you're like, oh, it's going to be a draw, because they don't do it every match, and so you kind of parlay that. But all that aside, man, this was a brutal. Both guys emoted and sold so well, and it was just like so incredible of what these two can do. And man, of course, like, you know, when Swerve got the mic, he's like, I'm effing hurting, you know, and I could totally see that, because man, they put each other through hell and back. And I absolutely love this match. And what happened afterwards, man, like, I mean, Ospreay sold so well, like so many near finishes in this match. So much. It started off a little slow, but you had to get that build going, and then it was just like pedal to the metal afterwards, after they got a few of those moves out. But this, I don't know if we'll see Swerve versus Ospreay 3 anytime soon, but when that day comes, it's going to be monumental, in my opinion, main event worthy. But what we saw after, you know, wanting to go more, and yes, the self-sacrifice from Ospreay is something I did not see coming. He timed that so well, and for a guy who's been petitioning for Team AEW to be on the same page to try to release the hostage world title week in and week out, for him to literally sacrifice his face and his body with the thumbtack shoes for Swerve. I mean, how could you not want to be behind him, or, you know, stand shoulder to shoulder with him after that? Like, that was the ultimate. I'm taking a bullet for you, brother. And he did.
This dude, like, even at the beginning of the match, I don't even know if it was shoot or work, but he had a busted nose in the beginning of the match, and still took the shot. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was just so incredible, the timing of it. And I love the beatdown that the Bucks did. And so could this lead to, you know, someone posted, I wish it, you know, I can't take credit for this, but yes, exactly what you're saying, Steven. The way that they were building to a lot of things with the Young Bucks, and essentially 3 key guys, Swerve, Ospreay, Hangman. And they're so lucky they have guys that can go in and out in terms of this feud. You can roll the dice and pick whomever to go against Moxley and whomever to go against the Young Bucks, and it would work. And, you know, we kind of thought it would have been Swerve and Hangman going against the Young Bucks, but now potentially it's Swerve and Ospreay going against the Young Bucks, and Hangman go for the world title. And so, like, we're all here for that. That's for sure. So I'm really excited and hopeful that this match is going to get announced for All In, because if this match gets announced and then we have already the 3 that are already announced, like I don't need anything else. I mean, Tony's going to cook and give us more, but that alone is worth his price of admission right there.
We've talked about this many times, about when you find that dance partner.
Yeah.
The creativity of the Young Bucks back when, you know, they were feuding with the Lucha Brothers are like their all-time best feud. But you're going to put Will Ospreay and Swerve with their capabilities against the Young Bucks.
I know, right?
Can you imagine the death-defying, like, it's going to be insane. And in the arena, the Global Life Trust Ballyhoo Arena, whatever it's called, it's going to be insane watching these guys do the death-defying acts that they're going to do. And it's just going to be, book it. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and it does seem like where the storyline's going. But if we get the Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay at All In, I'm going to need a cigarette. I mean, I don't smoke. I'm gonna need a cigarette after some of these matches. It's gonna be just incredible.
I know you're
And
gonna have to. It's like you're gonna have to take a quick lap to the bathroom and get some fresh air,
Yeah.
or something like that for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Fantastic though.
This
Fantastic
match,
stuff.
Okada Omega, Tony versus Mercedes.
Yep.
Then we have obviously Mox versus Hangman. Like, truth, it's going to be such an emotional roller coaster night. And I'm personally glad it's starting earlier in the day, just so I can like once the show's over, we can be like, wow, like have time to kind of chill out and end the night and celebrate an awesome night down in Texas.
Well, should we go ahead? I mean, we can jump around a little bit. Should we
Yes.
get into this a little bit?
Yes, I love this.
Absolutely. And we've got ourselves a super chat party. Let's go. Let's go old school. Should we go old school?
Do it.
Let's do it.
Super chat party!
Super chat party, and let's
I
get
had to
in.
go put my Young Bucks kicks on.
Hold on, here we go. Yeah. Boom! And with the leg slap too. I love it.
I know.
That's
I'm bringing
fantastic.
these babies down to Texas. That's for sure.
You got to put tax. You got to put some tax on them.
Yeah. Thank you, BR. Appreciate the love and support always. And it is. I mean, that's giving us a pause for a second. Yeah, the leg slap.
That was
always
perfect.
I don't know if you guys have seen. I might have posted. I think I did post it on our Dynamite download. If not, I'll repost it on our story on our Instagram. I had a nice super chat or a nice kick to the camera doing my super kick party wannabe Young Bucks with my new kicks when I first got them a year plus ago. But speaking of Young Bucks and Elite and all that, Omega versus Okada. Is Okada joining the Don Callis family? Is the Elite done right now? What's going on with all that? All those questions are lurking in the back of my mind. But more importantly is we do have what Mindrunner has been calling for, a unified championship. And it looks like a semi version of the original women's world title with that kind of egg shape. And I think it's a beautiful belt. I do think it's a beautiful belt, but is that egg type of shape? I think the international title is a fantastic looking belt too. So do I like this better? I don't know. It's going to have to grow on me, but I do like the international title right off the bat a little bit better. However, I like the fact that they're going unification, and you've spoken on unification for weeks and if not months about this, and I think this will elevate the belt and title even more, unifying it.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, the contract signing, AEW did such a great job of giving us all a reminder of the importance and the depth of the feud of Omega versus Okada. And they helped really set the tone and set the stage for it being that important of a match. And it's not just any other match, it's not just the unification match, winner takes all, but it is a heated rivalry that spans, 5+ years. And the commentator team did a great job too, continuing from the video package to talk about that. And I did not see the brutality of Okada, coming. He did such a great job. And first when the camera crew was showing Kenny Omega yelling at Callis and Okada kind of lurking in the back, I was like, something's up. Something is up.
Yeah.
And I did not expect multiple elbow drops. I did not expect multiple, hits with that baton, and as well as the brutal elbow drop to the cherry on top that exploded Kenny's intestines, where he was vomiting up some of his intestines, essentially.
Oh,
well, wow, this really got heated, and I don't know. I honestly don't know if we will see Kenny before All In. Or he definitely probably, I don't think he would be wrestling before All In, but maybe we'll see him like a week or two before, just to kind of hype up the match even more. But wow, this is really starting to, and made it even more personal than it already was.
I got to agree with Fletch in the chat. I want to touch on this one, but I believe he's absolutely right. But first, I got to say, I actually I got duped by Don Callis here because I actually thought they were going to turn Okada babyface and make this a babyface match because of the handshake, the package they did. They're building it up as like this Rocky versus Apollo Creed kind of thing. You know, it was this really like clash of legends kind of thing. And people talking about is the New Japan Okada coming back now? Is he going to be who he's supposed to be? And blah 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 blah. And oh my goodness! And then when Kenny goes, I know all your tricks, and Don Callis, you don't know all my tricks. I'm like, oh son of a bitch! And I knew it right before it happened. I said, Okada's joining Callis, and boom! And what I love is the throwback to when Kenny turned and Don Callis first kind of established himself as the heel manager in AEW when they ran to TNA. Do you remember when Kenny turned heel and they ran off in the same fashion that they did last night with Okada, where they jumped in? Other guy, we got to get away. You know, all it was missing was you'll find out Tuesday on Impact or whatever. I thought it was fantastic. Of course, Kenny, you know, selling the diverticulitis thing. The whole thing was great.
Hell of a
yeah, exactly. Don Callis, you're a son of a bitch, dude. I'm telling you. And I think he did this just because I started saying that Ricochet was a better heel, and now he's got this. But I got to say what Fletch said here. I want to say this part right here first. Callis can have a major part in the All In because Okada joining Callis family, but I think the other portion is Takeshita is going to go babyface. I think Kyle Fletcher oozes heel. He's got to stay heel, and I think he's going to be the future TNT champion very soon. But I think Okada is going to be kind of the new, you know, like he's going to be joining the Callis family. But I predict a Takeshita babyface run, and I can see that happening. And I could see an Okada. I could see a Kenny versus Takeshita, or perhaps an Okada versus Takeshita match after All In. And I could see Takeshita by the end of this year being the, what are we calling it now? The International House of Continental Breakfast title. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know if they might have said more international, but I don't know if there's an official new name or anything like that. But
yeah,
I think it does, you know, to point on this with Fletch, I feel like it does need maybe some rebranding of a name or, you know, moving forward and having it be a one step below the world title type of title. You know, AEW, something we've spoken about, you know, has been kind of oversaturated with titles when they started bringing in Ring of Honor and FTW and all these other, you know, titles. However, now that we're take one away, we might be adding two more with the women's titles. So
yes.
I think that would kind of round it off pretty good. With the Continental and International, I felt like there was a lot of overlap and confusion, tournament aside. So I feel like a little rebranding with this title is a perfect move. And you know, honestly, I don't know if you had to make your All In predictions, who would you pick to win this match?
Up until last night, I thought this is
right
Kenny. Right now, Okada.
With the shenanigans.
Here's what I think Okada's gonna win. I think you can't deny the Callis factor. I think Kenny is being sporadic with his appearances. I think he's going to, but I think what Fletch says. I mean, Fletch, stop reading my mind, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think Okada wins, and Okada starts being, you know, with Callis pumping his ego. You know, he's just going to be bitch, all this. But I think what's going to happen is Kyle Fletcher's going to get the TNT title, and Okada's going to have the unified, you know, Unilever title, and Takeshita doesn't have anything. And what's going to start to happen is Takeshita's going to feud with Okada, and that's going to be the feud that carries us beyond All In, and it's going to end with Takeshita getting the unified title. I think that's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be tremendous. Now, you did also say tag team titles. Well, let's talk about one of my favorites matches from last night, and the return of Ty J in the house versus Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford. And if this is a way, if this doesn't say that Tony Khan is dipping more than his toe in women's tag team titles, we're unifying a belt. It's time for us to now give them, like you said, the tag team titles. And I thought this was a tremendous match. Everybody did fantastic for this was Anna Jay's still looking a lot better than before. She was great, but the standout to me was Ty Mello. You know, her whole angry mama bear. She was not having any of Megan Bayne's crap, and like she's like, I'm not afraid of you. Her Brazilian accent gets thick. If you ever watch Sammy's vlog, when she gets pissed at Sammy, her accent gets very thick. And she go, I'm not afraid of you. I don't scare me. And there was this moment where she was doing these high kicks, and she kicked Megan Bayne. And she, on the third one, she ran out and went, "You bitch!" and kicked her. It was fantastic. Penelope is always awesome to watch. You know, that gymnastics stuff. I'm why we haven't had a Penelope versus Lady Frost match, I don't know. I also like the ending because they did protect Megan Bayne here. You know, Penelope ate the pin, but what they did was it was an outsmarting thing where Megan Bayne was about to stomp Ty Mello and break up the pin, but Anna Jay saw the opportunity, put the Queen Slayer and basically neutralized Megan Bayne so Ty Mello could get the 1, 2, 3. I thought this was fantastic, and I feel like this is definitely a taste of things to come with women's tag team titles.
Yeah, it's definitely a taste, and I think we are, I mean, as we have discussed on our show week in and week out, and I'm not sure if you have the capability of doing that, but, you know, first I'll talk about the match, then we should go to our tournament. And we should advance their tournament because it's important. We got to keep going. We got to keep this momentum going. And so the return of Ty J is they had to win. They had to take this W. Anytime you have a returning wrestler, I think they need the momentum more than anything. And this still protected, even though she's on Team SPD. I want Megan Bayne to get all the points possible with our season 6 draft so I can retain my title and continue. Wait, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
So I can continue having my championship title for season 6 draft. I want all the points. However, you know, I'm still a respected booker in the product. And TJ versus Sky and Juliet all in for the titles. You know, Fletch, we're going to show you, if you haven't been tuning into our show, we have created an inaugural Dynamite Download tag team title tournament. We fantasy booked it. And so we started with 8 teams, and we had a bracket that we created, and we kind of went through it live, and we were setting the teams. And then 2 weeks ago we set round 1, and then now we'd advanced to round 2. So we're here at the final 4. Let's see. I don't know if you have it ready, but I got it up right here.
I have it ready.
You got it? All right, let me stop sharing my screen here. But I was going to buy some time so you can get it all prepped and up. But we are down to the final 4 teams right now. Now, this is the Fantasy SPD and Mindrunner booking of Dynamite Download, how we would book the tag team title tournament. And then, yes, the inaugural titles being crowned, or the champions being crowned at All In. So the final 4 is, you got
Mega
it ready?
Bad. We have Mega Bad. Oh, go ahead. We've got Mega Bad. Oh, is it not showing?
No, there we go.
We got Mega Bad defeating Ty J, but what I think though is this doesn't mean that we're not going to see Ty J come after them if they win or what have you, come after the championships. And then we've got Thunder Tits or Thunder Sushi. We'll come up with something, you know, Thunder Tits 2.0. It's Mina Shayla Cobb and Tony Storm.
Mina Storm.
Yeah, we want Mina Storm. By the way, Mama Mina last night was awesome when she came out for the save. That was pretty cool. Then we've got the Virtuosa and Taya Valkyrie. What's their name? The Vendetta? I think that's their team. The
Vendetta,
name.
yep.
And they defeated the debut of Marina Shafir and Shayna Baszler. I think there'll be some shenanigans there. And then we'll have finally reuniting Chris Statlander, Willow. again, in light of everything that's been going on, who knows what direction that's all going to go. But I think we would argue if we would start with the right side first. I think we do want in the finals, and let us know in the chat what you think. But I think we want in the finals Willow and Statlander.
Give the people what they want with two red hot baby faces and friends for reuniting.
Now, who do we put against them? Do we go Mina, Tony, or?
I mean, it's got to be. You need yin to the yang, baby faces versus heels. It's booking 101. As much as I love Mina and Tony as a team, I think they're very, very entertaining. I feel like someone will cost them this match. Or Bane will just have to eventually overpower them, because the way we saw Bane and Tony Storm battle it out at what was it, Double or Nothing, or was it Dynasty? One of the pay-per-views was very impressive, and so she had it. And I think, especially after the loss last night, if we're kind of staying relevant, they need to get a little bit momentum back. So this is the way we would book the finals. Would be for Mega Bad versus Willow and Statlander for the inaugural women's tag team titles at All In. So Dynamite Download is booking it. What do you all think in the chat? Send us a comment. Now, who would you book in the finals differently, if anything? But this is, we're continuing to throw feelers out there. TK's listening. AEW fan base is listening. Let's get that momentum behind there. I'm all for removing one title, adding two titles, especially the way they've been booking, because all the women's tag team title matches or tag team matches as of late have been extremely entertaining and fun. And so I'm all here for it. And so, Fletch, thank you for joining us in the chat. You're giving us a lot of great insight. And he did say Tay kind of in the vlog spoiled something about tag team titles. And so she said something about the tag team title. So is it going to happen? So. Is that true? Is it a work? Is it a shoot? What's it going to be? Either way, it's a win-win if that's the truth or not. But
if you're not watching the Sammy vlog, you got to start watching Sammy vlog. It's so full of awesome content, especially this past one, because not only did we see the return of Ty Mello, we saw her birthday celebration, but they had a highlighted section of Fan of the Week. And I just want to show you a clip of Fan of the Week. They had this really hunk of an awesome dude was one in the Fans of the Week section. Shout out to Courtney Holland for letting me know about this. But I had posted just before I went to the gym to get a monster workout. My Sammy shirt had come in a couple days ago, and it came out of the wash, and I said, all right, I'm wearing my Sammy shirt for some Super Saiyan energy. And so I posted the Super Sammy and he liked it, tagged it, and he put it in the vlog. So about 1837 mark, you can see this mark as one of the Fans of the Week. And great stuff. And it's good to see the Sammy vlog back, and it's good to see kind of their relationship. It really, I don't think that backstage, all backstage pass, whatever show, I think
all access.
All access. I don't think it did them any justice. They're such good people, and Luna's adorable. The family is awesome. Thanks, BR. Yeah, it was so cool to see my chiseled Sigma chatted mewing mug on the vlog this week. So it was really cool. Give me the views. The motherfucking
That's right.
views. And we did, speaking of women's matches, like you were saying earlier about, protecting returning people or protecting debuts. I like that they're protecting Tekla. I've been calling her Thekla, but it's Tekla. I like that they're protecting her. And, she, although my girl Lady Frost should have had more offense last week, this week, you want to talk about offense. I think these two ladies, Queen Aminata, the one and only, who's on my team, I think she and Thekla said, listen, we both have been to New Japan. We've both been to Japan. We know strong style. Let's beat the crap out of each other legit tonight and put on a brutal show. And that's what they did. And I think there was some legit. I'm not on purpose, not like receipts, like where they're trying, like it was a bad thing. I think that's kind of the Japan style, where like the Inoki style, where it's like you're actually going to hit. There's no leg slaps, there's no pulling punches, and there was some brutality in this match. Plus, Tekla is just such a bizarre, interesting, wrestler. The the spider thing is so interesting. What are your thoughts on Tekla? Are you getting on the Tekla train here a little bit, SPD? Are you caught in her web?
So far, I am caught in her web. I think the addition to her, and I liked that little the hints that we'd get on the screen randomly. The only downfall to this match, I think, was just a long show, and I feel like if this was placed earlier in a show or on a standalone Collision, I think this would have been even better. For my appearance, I don't know, just the commentator team just didn't seem as energized in this match. That aside, that was a minor nitpick. I think this match was brutal. I thought, is Queen Aminata now dabbling back into the babyface side or what? Because she was, I loved kind of her lean into the heelness, but Queen has always been, Queen has been every single time every single time she's been on TV, she's growing more and more and more and becoming a bigger fan more and more and more because of just her offense and her growth and her character work. And so I really did like this back and forth match. Now back to Thekla, I think like she's going to be such a cool addition to the women's division, especially in the absence of Mariah, in the absence of Abaddon, in the absence of whomever. You have this just kind of bizarre. They're treating her really well with the strobe lights when she wins and different things like that. And they're doing a good job kind of making her seem more scary or more out there than she is.
Yeah.
But I like this push. So I'm curious of what the point of the attack of Jamie Hayter was. Like, I feel like Jamie Hayter should have came out at the end of this match or something to continue that if they're going to build a Thekla Hayter match, or if they're waiting for Thekla to get more wins before Hayter gets a victory on her, or if Hayter's not going to put her over or vice versa.
I think it's what you said just there, that second part. Not necessarily that Hayter's going to get a win over her, but I think they want to build her up as a legit threat. And Hayter might be taking time off for some personal reasons, but I think that's good because let's put Hayter not on ice so much, but let her step back a little bit. Let Tekla just run through some of the roster and then pull the trigger maybe next week, maybe in a couple weeks, or maybe as we get closer to All In, hit the Jamie Hayter theme. And now we've got our match. And so I think sometimes it's really cool to kind of pull that trigger. By the way, again, agree about the about Ian Riccaboni. I love Riccaboni
so good
on commentary. He's very underrated. If you watch Ring of Honor, that he and Caprice are fantastic together as well. They were the first to really start singing along with the Willow theme. I love that. But great stuff. I thought it was great. And it's hard to judge a match when you're at the 3 hours and 30-minute match, like you said. It's tough. People are tired. And
sure.
Just kind of, if you want to really quickly, if we want to just kind of talk about the quote unquote main event, an 8-man tag, and it was the Callis family versus Paragon and Daniel Garcia. And as good as all of these guys are, and by the way, look at this
unreal. That is such a visual
here.
You just need Callis and Fletcher out there, and
and Okada now too.
I'm still not told he's 100% in, but as of now, we'll consider he is.
Absolutely. But I thought this was for what it was. It was good. I just felt like they got the bum rap of being, Adam Cole snake bit. I don't know what gypsy he pissed off, or what voodoo priest in New Orleans he pissed off, but he's just he keeps getting booked in these spots where it's but his match, he had that one match that was in between Yeah, him and Garcia, they were in between the Anarchy in the Arena and the was it the hanger Osprey match. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, it just seems snake bit. And ending the show like this after what happened to Kenny with Callis, and then ending the show with this image, I think that's good. You're establishing the Callis family for what they are.
Yeah, I love the way this image showed at the end. Yes, it did feel like a little fatigue at the end of the match or end of the show. And it's just unfortunate, nothing against any of the in-ring competitors. But I got to say, I think Adam Cole's addition to the commentator team on Collision throughout the last few weeks has been good. I'll give him that. He's adding a little dynamic to it, and it gives him and the belt a little more spotlight. I would rather have that than an MIA champ. And how often have we had people win the belt and kind of be MIA for weeks on end or not defend it weeks on end? So I would rather have that personally. But I do think you're right. A little snake bit. Maybe he got a little, a root canal gone wrong down in Florida somewhere, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Somebody sabotaged his. Somebody sabotaged his root canal or the cap on his teeth.
Now I got a question for you. I texted you this, and then this is a good thing in the chat too. So before we go to one of the next segments, two AEW OGs and big namers, Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Now, both have been MIA for a while. We know where Darby's been. OC maybe have been nursing or doing something with an injury. So you and everyone in the chat who's around, and you, Mind Runner, where would you insert Darby and where would you insert Orange Cassidy if they were to return within the next weeks or months?
All right off the bat, Darby needs to be involved with the Death Riders because he went out, he was the guy. And I think he needs to be involved in whatever storyline goes on with the Death Riders. I do believe Hanger's going to win the title. I think we're going to see more, whatever incarnation the Death Rider is going to be. But I think what we're going to see is eventually we're going to see that Darby versus Mox again. It's going to be, and that's going to be Darby coming back and kind of getting the torch from Mox as the, I think Darby will help. I think what'll happen is we're going to get that moment where, because the Death Rider is going to be all over. They're going to be like flies on shit at All In. They're going to be everywhere. Wheeler, Claudio, everybody, and then Swerve and Osprey. None of them are going to be able to protect. The ops aren't going to be able to do too much. It's going to be pandemonium, and then Moxley. They're going to finally get the drop on Hanger, and then you're going to hear. Now, I don't know this because we know how crazy Darby is. Can you imagine Darby rappelling from the top of the stadium like Sting down into the stadium? Now I don't. Now last time he tried that, he actually looked. It looked like he was, trying to unalive himself. So that's not a good image to have. That was a little scary. Fletch also mentions, does Bryan Danielson show up for a little cameo? He said he's going to be there in some sense when they announced that he's going to be there, whether it be backstage or whatever. So, can you imagine Danielson like stopping whatever and helping it be a fair fight?
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine.
Final countdown hits. Imagine. See, I almost think
I would lose my shit if that happened because I, as such a huge Danielson fan, if I was there in Chicago with his debut, the double debut of Danielson and Cole, and I was just popping like crazy, and I'll look right at FTD's face and go, I'll go, yes, right at FTD's face and all in if that happens.
I think that'd be crazy. And I agree with Fletch again. It's that Danielson makes sense. Darby makes sense because he's got the personal issue. I think we're going to see. It's going to be like Avengers Endgame. We're going to see everybody. It's going to pop in. Now, Orange Cassidy, I think we might see more involved in whatever's going to happen with whatever Mark Briscoe and them are going to be. I think he's going to be a little bit more involved in whatever the form the conglomeration is in, or he could be. It'd be interesting to see him be a future TNT challenger for Kyle Fletcher when, because I think we all agree Kyle Fletcher is going to be the next TNT champion. And Eddie Kingston, the world is cold. You better bundle up. There's a chance if he's 100%. I think there's so many people that could just show up. I think it'll be great to see. But that is all the sideshow, because our Captain America, the main character in all of this, is this crazy cowboy shit MFer right here. And I love that he's bound, he's taped, he's all this, and he still headbutts Moxley. Like, you have to kill this guy to stop him. And his,
I know, right?
Come out to help, and they save him, and he gets on the mic and he says, "You better run, you better hide, because if I find you, I'm decapitating fools." This was great because, although I don't think it took away from Hanger. I thought this was like such a great moment where you could just like this image right here. Look at the face on Hangman. Yeah, it's fantastic. You could shoot through that deck tape. And
I know, right?
And what did you think of this segment? And do you think it took away from Hanger, or do you think it added to Moxley's going to get his ass kicked?
This needs to happen more and more and more. You need to belittle and make us want the ultimate payoff more and more and more. If you want to, like, the climb and the chase for the babyface to the champ has to be so desperate, so wanting us as fans for him to get revenge and to get, validation and all that. You need this. And so we're going to see I bet you will see some Hangman's Revenge very soon, whether it be next week or the week or Collision. Oh, excuse me. We'll see some revenge, but he'll still have this uphill battle. And, just this kind of segues into what Hangman said to the Young Bucks backstage too, where he's like, the next house I burn down is going to be with you guys in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I popped when that happened.
This whole segment was cinema, dude. Let's talk about it.
That's a deep V too, right there. Real deep V from Jackson right there. Woof.
What's that? Oh,
deep V neck right there.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And Matthew Jackson kind of showing off a little bit of the thing here. I'm sad he lost the pearls, but this was such great cinema. The way this went down. Hanger telling off the Bucks saying, well, he's made his bed, he's going to lie in it. And then Nana peeking around out the door, and he goes, did you hear that? And Swerve going every single word. But the best part is this whole thing going down. Look in the back. I mean, Ospreay's dead. But they were focused on what's going on with the Bucks and Hanger. So, yes, I think this is dripping. Yeah, dripping with story. Like Fletch says in the chat, it's like AEW has such good stories. This is so good. And Nana playing his role, this whole thing with Swerve, they're coming around. I mean, let's be honest, Swerve and Hanger are the two most dangerous men in AEW. And Moxley's lucky that for the longest time they've been aimed at each other. You turn both of those guns on Mox, I mean, weapons of mass destruction here. I mean, this is good. This is good. I mean, they drank each other's blood. They're blood brothers at this point, and this is just going to be insane. It's going to be, it's going to plug into my veins. And like you said, we're going to get Hanger versus Mox, but we're probably like you said, we're going to get Swerve and Ospreay versus the Bucks, and that's going to be
it seems that way, right?
Oh, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be so incredible. Fantastic. It's going to be insane. Trying to think, did we, how can we not? I do want to, we didn't even talk about, speaking of Captain America, prepping for next week at Grand Slam, we got to see Mystico in action. against the Vanilla Baby Blake Christian. But then we've got MJF saying he's going to be coming out in the red, white, and blue. El Grande Americano. Yes, exactly. I thought, wouldn't that be a twist if you've been watching WWE? There's a luchador in red, white, and blue named Grande Americano, which sounds like a Starbucks order, but but haters are going to say it's really Chad Gable in disguise, but those are haters. It's a totally different person, But wouldn't that be a twist if it turned out it was MJF secretly wrestling in the WWE as a luchador? But I loved the fact that MJF was dressed as MVP. He went with MVP attire, but it was like the Hurt Syndicate attire. I thought this was such a cool little nod. There's again, back to stories. There's so many subtleties here. MJF doing MJF things like waiting until Speedball and them were in a losing position, begging to get tagged. But then when he would be, when they would throw the offense, he'd run to Bobby or Shelton, like, save me, save me. So, yeah, they're going to milk this for a while, but expect the Hurt Syndicate to turn on MJF at some point, or he's going to turn on them. Something's going to happen. But right now, yeah, interesting to see where this is going to go.
Very interesting. And honestly, I don't think I like the ode to MVP with the MJF singlet there or whatever, but I like that the crowd was telling him, you look stupid. And so I actually appreciated that. But yeah, this Lashley throwing him out of the ring before the tag there, and that, like, they're leaning into their heel characteristics as much as we love the Hurt Syndicate. Yeah. And I feel like the little babyface stuff that was kind of coming and MJF kind of going over in certain spots or certain towns as well, that the heelness is kind of full throttle now. And I think that is important to be that. So when the time comes of the breakup of MJF, whoever that is, MJF or Hurt Syndicate, is going to catapult to either babyface or heelness. We've talked about on our show wanting the Hurt Syndicate to recruit Wardlow to go against MJF to recoup that. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want Wardlow and MJF to align at all. Especially, we've spoken to Wardlow in an interview, and shoot aside, I feel like that relationship and bridge has definitely been broken to be shoulder to shoulder. Now, face to face, I feel like that would be another story. And if you're reading the dirt sheets or seeing stuff online, it sounds like Wardlow is getting pretty close to returning. He looks great. He posted a picture on his Instagram today, and I saw something about Wardlow. They're filming the reboot for American Gladiators. What perfect person to have film that, if that's the case. So awesome. I hope that's true. But man, do we miss Wardlow? That's for sure.
Imagine signing up to compete in American Gladiators and like, okay, you have to fight the pugil sticks. You have to fight Wardlow. Yeah. Or what was the one? It was like they had one. It was like a football scramble. You had to get by two.
Oh yeah,
like Nitro and Titan or something. And you're gonna have
it's
to
such
go
a fun
through
show.
Wardlow.
I used to love that show so much.
And Camille, like Flesh said, Camille is in there too. I think it's good to see two arguably estranged AEW talents that are beloved to find a home in American Gladiators like this, because Camille, we've been explicit on how we kind of feel like that debut kind of got botched, and nothing against her. I think it was just kind of the story and didn't quite go where it should. But I think that would be fantastic to see them shine here, get a little bit of and then be reintroduced back in AEW. After getting some American Gladiators heat and coming back a little bit more in their personas. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. If you haven't seen Wardlow's story, definitely check out. He's definitely in beast shape, the Mr. Mayhem wolf shape for sure.
Well, let's talk about our top performers from last night. I went Ty Mello, and again, I was mixed. I had like 8 different top performers, and I had to do a process elimination. The reason I went with Ty Mello because this was her first match back. A lot of times when you have somebody she's been gone for over 2 years, had a baby. She's been and like if you watch the vlog again, she's so used to being at home with Luna, and now she is. But she's really fought she's fought to get into this shape. Other than her tag match she had with Mina Shirakawa, this was her first AEW match back. This was her second wrestling match in within the last couple of years. She did not seem like she skipped a beat. She seemed like she was like she had been there the whole time. I loved her aggressive personality. Her personality really enhances Ty J. You know, one of the things we've said before with Anna J is, although, you know, sometimes she can be a little wooden with her character. I mean, I think her best character was when she was with the Dark Order. But Ty is she's got that mama bear Brazilian feistiness, and she's going to beat you with a chancla. She definitely makes sure, Sammy definitely makes sure he doesn't piss her off too much, even though he goes out of his way to prank her all the time. But Ty was fantastic in this match. The way she stood up to Megan Bayne, the way they worked together, I thought this was a great return for Ty. And I hope we can, what's great is to know she genuinely, in the point of tears, is happy to be back in AEW. And she, like, if you ever see her first match in AEW back several years ago when she debuted on Dark, she cried when she came through the tunnel because she was so mistreated at NXT. And then she comes to AEW and it was like she was home. Here she is back home. And in the vlog, she was scared. She wasn't sure anybody's going to like her. After the match, she's like, I want to do this every day. Let's go. Let's have another match. So Ty Mello's my top performer, but I also salute to you for yours.
I mean, the quote-unquote standby match was definitely one of the bangers of the night. I mean, it was hard not to pick someone from, the Swerve or Ospreay match, that's for sure, because those guys they brought the house down. They really did. And nothing against them at all, because they could have been both of our top performers for sure. Swerve was my number one pick going into this. And then when I saw the Bandito match, I'm like, holy cow, gosh. I mean, this not a surprise at all, but Bandito consistently is just like delivering some just great stuff in the ring. And he really impressed me. And, given the time too that Beast Mordos and Bandito had, they put on quite the match. And definitely, if not match of the night, top two, in my opinion.
I thought Jackie Chan would have said, dang, that was fast. It was, there was, and the dangers too, like that one spot off the top, like insane. And
You're right.
And to think Bandito, what's so deceptive about both of those guys. Bandito is super strong for a guy so tiny, for him to do a lot of those long-term standing, brain busters and whatnot. And also Beast Mortos looks like he would just be this brute Wolverine guy, but he's so fast. He does those spins, those flips. Like, he's fantastic. If it wasn't for the Swerve Ospreay match in the front, I'd say that was match of the night. But then, this was the same night as Swerve and Ospreay. Well, unless you say technically it was Collision, not Dynamite, because of whatever. But it's a testament to how great the whole show was. And
you're right.
Even as tired as I was at the time they got on, I still was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was getting that adrenaline pump again.
That reignited the crowd for sure.
Yes. That was fantastic.
Great stuff. Why don't you show the standings once again as we wrap up for Dynamite Download episode 192. If this is the current standings for draft season 6, which went live last week. We did our draft a week ago for last Friday. And now we are rocking and rolling for season 6. We're going to be going up until All Out in Toronto. Team Dynamite Download. I got my baseball jersey ready to go. I got another Dynamite Download shirt underneath here ready to roll. And we are 30 days away from All In. And so we got a busy week down there.
And do you see who I'm representing tonight?
Joe Hendry.
Who is that?
Is that Joe?
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
You know it. I believe in Joe Hendry. That is Joe Hendry. But yeah, I think next week we'll have to dress the part for a Grand Slam in Mexico City.
We will. We'll dress the part.
Yep, and we'll have some surprises as well.
That's right. We're going to be straight from Arena, Mexico, broadcasting live.
Bring your own taco.
Y'all, thank you for joining us in the chat. Love seeing you all. And how close are seats at ringside are all in. Our seats are like in section one of the 100 sections, Steven. So we wanted to sit a little bit higher up just for better perspective. But thank you all. We're going to leave as we have been doing since we booked it with our montage and excitement for our all-in hype video. So see y'all next week and enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang. Bark, bark, bark. I pressed the button.
I'm your huckleberry.